UK weather. Storm Babet batters large parts of country, as third person confirmed dead. A rare red weather alert issued by the Met Office warning of a danger to life from fast-flowing or deep floodwater has been extended until midnight on Saturday, and there are fears people who have had to flee their homes may not be able to re-enter until after Christmas. A third person has died as Storm Babet batters large parts of the UK. West Mercia police said the man, aged in his 60s, got caught in fast-flowing floodwater in the town of Cleobury Mortimer, Shropshire. Members of the public alerted officers after spotting him going under the water shortly before 10:40 a.m. on Friday. His body was found around 2 hours later. It comes after two people were reported to have died in Scotland on Thursday. Police Scotland confirmed a 56-year-old driver had been killed after a tree struck a van on the B9127 near Forfar at around 5:05 p.m. A 57-year-old woman also died after she was swept into the water of Lee, a river in the eastern area of Angus. Elsewhere in the UK, a passenger plane skidded off the runway at Leeds Bradford Airport amid severe conditions in Yorkshire on Friday afternoon. The incident happened as the TUI flight from Corfu came into land. There were no reports of any injuries. The Energy Networks Association said more than 55,000 properties were hit by power cuts in England alone. It said the majority had since been reconnected, but 10,000 customers were still without electricity on Friday. Check what the weather forecast is in your area.
I think that's gotta be alright.
Over.
It was quite a little.
Weather warnings are in place across much of Britain. A rare red weather alert issued by the Met Office, warning of a danger to life from fast-flowing or deep floodwater in parts of Scotland, was extended until midnight on Saturday. Meanwhile, a major search was underway following reports of a man trapped in a vehicle in floodwater. Police Scotland said the alarm was raised at 3 a.m. on Friday near the village of Marykirk in Aberdeenshire. Multi-agency searches are ongoing, and the public are asked to avoid the area for their safety a Force spokesperson said. The Scottish Fire and Rescue Service said it had received about 750 emergency 999 calls since Thursday morning, a figure it described as unusually high. Its crews have also attended around 70 weather-related incidents. The town of Brechin has been the hardest hit, and there are fears people who have had to flee their homes due to flooding may not be able to re-enter until after Christmas. The Met Office said some communities could be cut off for several days at least by severe flooding, while the British Geological Survey has warned the storm could also cause landslides in Scotland. As of Saturday morning, the Scottish Environment Protection Agency, SEPA, has 5 severe flood warnings, 12 flood alerts, and 17 flood warnings in place, with the threat of unprecedented levels of rainfall in the northeast of Scotland. Warnings have come to fruition. Scottish and Southern electricity networks said almost 35,000 of its customers were hit by power cuts. Officials said most were reconnected by 8:45 p.m., except for 2,800 customers who were still without electricity on Friday night. Torrential and ferocious conditions have led to 12 hours of destruction, said Sky's Scotland correspondent Connor Gillies. Flood defenses of the River Esk in Brechin have been completely and utterly submerged, he said. The warnings have come to fruition, and lives are at risk still for several more hours, said Gillies. Many people will now be picking up the pieces after a really dangerous set of circumstances, he said. Train operator ScoTrail has warned disruption to services could last until Sunday.